Good morning and welcome to the Metro Vancouver Regional Effective Speaking Competition. My name is Jermaine Chu and I am the BC Effective Speaking Coordinator. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the unceded territories of the Coast Salish people, including the territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh nations. We have a few housekeeping rules to cover. Out of respect to the speakers, judges, and audience, we ask that you are muted during the competition. The competition is being recorded, and the videos will be posted on the BCPC website once approved. Please decide prior to speech beginning if you would like your video on or off. We will be monitoring the audio and visual while the speech is underway. Once this meeting is announced as beginning, those entering late will be admitted in between speeches. The format for today is as follows. Each speaker will present a 5 to 6 minutes prepared speech with a 2-minute break for judges to mark. We ask for your cooperation in keeping your systems muted while our judges score. After all prepared speeches are complete, we will have the judges email their marks to the designated email address. We will have a short 10 to 15-minute break, then commence the impromptu section of competition. The impromptu speeches will be 2 to 3 minutes each and will be presented in reverse order. The speakers will not know the topic of the speech until they are given 3 minutes to prepare prior to their turn. After the completion of the speeches, we will tally the scores and then announce the top 3 names. The gold medalists will continue on to the provincial competition, which is held on April the 23rd, 2022, on Zoom with details to follow. So let's start and have some fun. Without further ado, speaker number 1. Speaker 1, Cadet Choice, Cadet Life, Science and Technology, Aviation, Canadian History, or Citizenship. Cadet Choice, Cadet Life, Science and Technology, Aviation, Canadian History, or Citizenship. Speaker number 1.
You're talking with someone about what seems to be the most mundane things. Hey, check out this new coffee I got, or hey, I found a way to watch American Netflix, or I'm not too happy with the way things are going in the country right now. Moments later, you check your phone and you see ads that are eerily relevant to what you were just talking about. Ads for that new coffee, promotions for a VPN service, and a whole political campaign that promises to make things better and change it for the good. That's weird. They must be tapping into my microphones, right? They don't need to. We live in a world where we're more and more okay with tracking and data collection from the likes of Google, Facebook, and Amazon, and others, to provide you these services that, well, to serve you content, to show you advertisements, etc., and who knows what else. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Put on your tinfoil hats because I, Sergeant Honeycomb, will bring you in a bumpy ride. If you've ever experienced this phenomenon where your advertisements align with your interests, almost to a frightening degree, rest assured, this is no accident. When you read the terms and conditions and the privacy policy that you've read, you consent to this data collection and these analytics and this tracking and whatnot, because they want to provide you a tailored experience, a personalized experience just for you, right? I mean, how bad can it be? These services are so convenient, not to mention free. Think about it. How is 15 gigabytes of Google Drive storage, and Gmail for that matter, free? How is making a Facebook page for virtually anything free? How is connecting around the world using WhatsApp or Messenger or Instagram DMs? How are those free? They might not be free as in cost, but you are certainly paying with something else. You. Yourself. Remember the David Hardison that I mentioned? Well, your searches, your clicks, and who you know, those are associated to you with a Google account or a Facebook account, and sometimes they don't even need that. They can just see what behaviors you exhibit, and they know it's you. The conversations you have are I guess the people you know, really, those are a part of you. The posts you put on social media, those are your experiences. What you search for in that Google search tab and what you're shopping for, those are what you want to know. You're not projecting or exhibiting this information It is you. It is your information. And by giving up control of what you know about this, you're no longer driving the vehicle that is your own mind. You are a mere passenger. And anybody would be freaked out if one person that you knew all of this information. It'd be called stalking. It's no different here. Why would you want privacy about that? Because it's just a big company. It's not just some guy, right? Here's an absurd bit of scenario. If you don't like the color green, you're going to follow posts that align with that vision of anti-green. And Instagram and Facebook and those platforms, they're going to want you to stay on that platform for as long as possible. So they'll show you posts that align with your vision. That's not so bad on the surface, but eventually, if you keep piling this on and on and on and on, well, it'll come to a point where there's no room for discourse in you. You'll just completely reject anything because you are so used to seeing your vision only. This filter bubble, this personalized experience, or whatever you want to call it. You have lost control of yourself, and they are deciding what's good for you. Now, I love the internet. I don't see my life without it anymore, and I like how we're able to get all this information and these services. These are so good. I'm not gonna admit like it's not good. But here's the thing. I'm tired of this. I don't like the way that things are going. I'm tired of scrolling on my phone and laying in bed doing nothing because I like seeing what I'm seeing on my phone, funny colors and all that. I don't like seeing this incredible divide between all of us just because we saw a post on Instagram, and not to mention the rise of fake news. There's so much that we are not going in the right direction, and I want to rectify that. I really do care about your privacy and anybody's privacy, really, because it'll come to a point where you are going to want it because everything is so overbearing over you, but it won't matter because you've already given up all of your information, all your control. But we're not there yet. We can do something about it. We can still fix this problem. You don't have to go cold turkey like I did with social media. Maybe you should start using it less. Maybe you should use like secure messengers. Signal is one. That's my favorite. Change up your browser so that Google doesn't know everything about you, and your search engine, something like Firefox, and paired with DuckDuckGo. I don't know. Those are very simple tools that you can do right now, and you'll be much better off without it. And I know it's difficult because this privacy thing is such an untangible, abstract concept, but we have to wake up because in parts of the world right now, it's illegal to think of some way. Here in Canada, it's not exactly like that, but who knows what's going to happen. From Edward Snowden's autobiography, Permanent Record, he's the former security consultant at the NSA, arguing that you don't care about the right to privacy because you have nothing to hide is no different than saying you don't care about free speech because you have nothing to say.
Thank you, Speaker 1. Next, we have Speaker 2. Is effective speaking still relevant today in a society where social networks dictate the pace of information? Is effective speaking still relevant today in a society where social networks dictate the pace of information? Speaker 2.
The modern art of effective speaking enhances our abilities to articulate our narratives to a global perspective. As language and communication continuously develop, our roles as leaders become more prominent. We learn to share our stories and aspirations to encourage participation and discussion from our audiences. Good morning, judges and worthy competitors. I am Warrant Officer 2nd Class M from 767 Dearman Squadron, and together, let's imagine a typical scene from the past. Imagine a campfire fervently crackling as an elder rises in front of her curious audience. Each listener listens intensively, share moments of laughter, disparity, shock, and joy as a collective. The story resonates with her audience and influences their behaviors and thought processes, which impact decisions that they will make in the future. Building from the past to the present, all monumental events in human history happen from our abilities to share ideas and collaborate to change our realities. As cadets, leaders, and public speakers, effective speaking is the piece of the overarching puzzle of global communication. We share knowledge and ideas to promote our versions of reality. For us, the campfire symbolizes our world, and through social networks, the interconnectedness of our society, create a space where a single idea can reach millions and billions of people through a blink of an eye. Just as the printing press amplifies the thoughts of authors and journalists, news outlets and social media massively amplify the impact of our words as speakers. But unlike elders conveying oral traditions and writers publishing credible works, the option for us to present our ideas is unlimited, endless, and easily accessible to anyone at any location and time. Combining the ancient usage of effective speaking with the development of social networks, storytelling and communication in modern society expresses notions of global interconnectedness and digital media. Two primary ways the digital era impacts effective speaking are through video broadcasts and active dialogue. As a majority of us own pieces of digital equipment such as a phone, television, or a laptop, these instruments can transmit our ideas at immeasurable speeds to worldwide audiences. In most broadcasts, time limits exist and provide a frame for speakers to summarize broad concepts and consumable forms of information. Though these cases of condensing messages can lead to misinterpretation with severe consequences of toxicity. As well, traditional public speaking demonstrates aspects similar to those of a monologue, also known as a one-sided conversation, rather than the promotion of active dialogue, which needs multiple perspectives. The variables that encourage audience participation can ultimately discourage the effectiveness of a speaker's ideas and undermine what is seen as the quote-unquote traditional view of public speaking. And this is what I believe is the beauty of modern effective speaking, which is its ever-changing nature for improvement. With global calamities such as the COVID-19 pandemic, the encouragement for active global discussions provides richer public speaking experiences for us, speakers who are willing to learn and digest new ideas from differing perspectives. The pandemic serves as a pivotal point for this evolution as the rise of online learning for school and the cadet program, with reliance on social networks, deconstruct the traditional forms of public speaking. Through my experiences of instructing cadets within these positions, I've learned that through online calls on Microsoft Teams and in-person training nights, I have to implement a system that combines both of these aspects to effectively convey my message to the cadets. The mixture of utilizing online resources such as videos and virtual games while trying to maintain a connection through turning on my camera and mic and encouraging live discussions demonstrates the modern intake of effective speaking. Blended training made me realize that sharing my ideas with the cadets is only one half of my duty as an instructor, and to effectively communicate my knowledge and information, the other half is for the cadets to actively participate and to share ideas as a collective. Therefore, social networks not only assist in spreading information to a passive audience, but also develop active dialogue and collaboration. These contributions can lead to discussions and vital opportunities to deepen our understanding of our ideas as speakers and audience alike, which is the results that all effective speakers wish to deliver to their audiences. The relevance of traditional effective speaking, such as campfire stories or publicizing our opinions physically or verbally, displays the everlasting impact these methods have on the way that we communicate our ideas to a global audience. As the rising dependency on social networks will permanently impact modern civilization, the adaptation of creating a hybrid system for modern effective speaking displays our abilities to be open for change, improvement, and interconnectedness. In a world where our campfire can reach millions and billions of people, how will you, competitors and judges, effectively speak your own narrative?
Thank you, Speaker 2. Next, we have Speaker 3. Cadet choice, cadet life, science and technology, aviation, Canadian history, or citizenship. Cadet choice, cadet life, science and technology, aviation, Canadian history, or citizenship. Speaker 3.
Beautiful blue skies, a warm, sunny day, the electric buzz of people chatting on the streets, and life just flourishing outside the closed curtains of your room. You're sitting there in your dark, dingy room, scrolling mindlessly through your phone on a world built on pixels and screens, slowly taking you to a different reality where everyone is perfect, where flaws just don't exist. And if they do, get ready to be bombarded with people making snarky comments, taking their insecurities on you. A toxic mixture of judgments that you don't need, altering your senses of what's real and what's not. Social media is a hidden trap. Good morning, fellow cadets and judges. Today, I will be talking about the significant impact of social media on youth. So like I was saying before, social media is a trap. Millions of teenagers around the world, including me, have some form of social media and have fallen into this pit of staying on their phones for hours and hours, and have fallen into this pit of staying on their phones for hours, mindlessly scrolling on TikTok or Reddit until your sense of time falls away. And you lose yourself in a fictional world where everything's at your beck and call, where everything is a distraction and yearning for your attention. Want more funny content? You'll get it. Want to pick up fights on Twitter? Go ahead, you'll definitely get it. But the problem with this excessive use of social media is that today's youth is tomorrow's future. And social media is this huge distraction to divert us from our goals and our passions. And it is these goals and passions that contribute to society in a positive way. It makes us better citizens in our communities. Many kids and teenagers build their entire worlds off of social media, their opinions from social media. And so many kids even build their own personalities off of social media. And this causes a lack of originality, a lack of personal preference. And ultimately, this gives a piece of software way too much power over individuals. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many benefits of social media as well, but in the long run, excessive use of it will be detrimental. And I believe that this mind-blowing invention that we humans have created will and already has impacted younger people. But by being self-aware of this rampant issue is the first step towards being more responsible with our screen time and our own mental health. So, in our teenage years, we have the world to explore. We're finally stepping into reality where we need to work hard for luxuries, where we need to work hard for our grades, where our futures are in our hands. And each and every minute, each and every day, we are all striving to be better versions of ourselves, pushing ourselves to improve our skills and be better people. So where does social media come into play here? Well, it is a very well-known fact that teenagers immerse themselves into the digital world for hours, where self-worth is based off of how many likes or comments you get. So much so that a 2019 survey showed that the average teenager spends about 5 to 7 hours a day on social media, and most likely even more. And the freedom of our own thoughts is the biggest freedom we have as individuals. Our thoughts can go anywhere. They can jump around freely with the safety of knowing no one can hear them. But what you don't know is that social media quietly inputs certain ideologies in your head without you knowing. These companies are breaching your own thought process for hours on end, altering your senses. Imagine where else those hours could have gone. Spending time with family, pursuing a hobby, or stepping out of your comfort zone. Because if you look at the bigger picture of things, people will waste time on social media. People will live ordinary lives, not striving to achieve their dreams, and pass away, and the cycle continues on until people move on and they forget. So strive to use your time wisely. Strive to make a positive impact on our world and better the world. So the point I'm trying to emphasize here is that anything you want to do is possible. by putting in the time which social media is actively stealing from you. The foundations that we develop now as teenagers will take us through adulthood. So, fellow cadets, we have time to achieve our dreams, our goals. Not to mention, we're free from so many of the adult responsibilities like taxes and the formidable chains of debt. But we need to ensure that we are not bound by the formidable chains of social media. Thank you.
Thank you, speaker 3. Moving on, we have speaker 4. Is effective speaking still relevant today in a society where social networks dictate the pace of information? Is effective speaking still relevant today in a society where social networks dictate the pace of information? Speaker number 4.
On a cold winter day, and your fire is about to burn out, you usually have two choices to keep it burning. One, you use a piece of paper. Two, you use a piece of firewood. This piece of paper you use is like the ways we commonly communicate today, through social networks, such as texting. Firewood is like effective speaking, maybe harder to use, but still applicable today. Good morning, everybody. I am Flight Corporal Chen, and I believe effective speaking is still relevant today, even in a society where social networks dictate the pace of information. When you put a piece of paper in a dying fire, it easily catches onto a spark. In a split moment, what was a dying fire will become one of a decent size. This is like social networks. Its speed is incredible. As soon as you hit post, enter, or send, your message will appear on another individual's screen. Despite how incredible this is, a faster pace does not necessarily mean better. With challenging and in-depth conversations, what you need is actually more time. Due to the speed of information that can spread through the internet nowadays, it can feel like you're just getting bad news after bad news thrown out towards you. By using effective speaking, you can control the pace you're giving information out at. You can look at the audience you're speaking to see the direction and speed you should carry on your conversation at. If you use a piece of paper to keep your fire burning, how long does it usually continue to last? From what I've seen, maybe 2 minutes at most, not a very long time. This is comparable to the impact you can leave with people when communicating through social networks. If you don't have contact with your audience, information does not spread as fluidly. We all know the war currently going on between Ukraine and Russia. But do we really know what's going on? Every news report, every country, every article just seems to have its own perspective and bias, to the point where we don't know what's true and what's not. People can't read your emotions through a screen. It even happens in our daily lives. For example, when messages I send as sarcasm are taken seriously, and then the conversation becomes very awkward. If you speak face to face with effective speaking, you won't have that problem. The audience will see your intentions, while you will be able to see their reactions, whether it's laughter or tears. These reactions give you crucial information that you just won't see through a screen. When you use firewood to keep your fire going, it lasts for a remarkably long time. When you use effective speaking, the warmth you're able to give people may last a lifetime. With certain words, you can emphasize and speak louder, while others whisper. You can even pause to let your words sink in. With texting, you can't do that. Scientific studies have shown, by looking into someone's eyes, the eye contact you create is a chance for emotional connection. Now, how do you start a fire with firewood when all you have left are a couple of sparks? Well, you can't. You'll need a piece of paper to first turn the spark into a miniature fire, and then you'll need firewood to keep your fire burning. Despite all that I've said, this does not signify social networks are not necessary for today's society. An example of this is May of last year, when the first 215 bodies of Indigenous kids were found right here in BC. The internet helped us quickly become aware of what event just happened. And on Truth and Reconciliation Day that same year, many Indigenous people spoke out about what happens inside residential schools. These stories helped us greater understand why finding these bodies were so important. As you can see, social networks and effective speaking work together to make the best outcomes of communication. Today, aside from just using social networks to communicate, why don't we all try using effective speaking to leave an impact? Let the fire and warmth within us fully show. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker 4. And I am going to move the judges into the judges' room to deliberate and to finish the markings of the 4 cadets. The 4 cadets will join me in the cadet room, and we will take a 10-minute break now before we start the impromptu. All right, welcome back, folks. We are going to start our impromptu section of competition now. We already have our cadet in their impromptu room receiving their briefing and the impromptu question. So they're probably in the midst of their 3-minute writing. So giving you a little feedback about the impromptu. Again, the cadets will be performing in reverse order. Each of the cadets will receive the 3 minutes to prepare their speech and present to you a 2 to 3 minute speech with the impromptu question. With that, I believe they are ready. Speaker 4 is ready. Speaker 4, the impromptu question we have today for Metro Vancouver is, what makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? What makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? Speaker 4.
Have you ever tried folding a standard 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in half multiple times? I sure have, and I won't be the first to say. After the 7th fold, the 8th fold is pretty much impossible. Good morning, everybody. I am Flight Corporal Chen, and this piece of paper on the 7th fold is like me when I'm in a bad mood or feeling upset. Usually, when I'm in a bad mood, it's because I'm stressed. And while this piece of paper is on its 7th fold, it's squished together, condensed. No matter how hard you push or pull, that 8th fold is impossible. Often in school, even over a 10-mark test, which is super easy, I tend to overstress. This is because I'm constantly striving for the 8th fold. So what do I have to change, or what do I have to do to make myself feel better? I find that it's not something physical I need to do. It's a mindset that I need to change. It's this thought process that I need to change. So what I believe makes me feel better when I'm sad or upset is to unfold, one fold at a time, till all those 7th folds are gone, till it's just a piece of paper lying flat. And to learn that sometimes it's okay not to feel stressed. And even with those creases left on the piece of paper, the imperfections, I believe those are okay to have sometimes. And to lie flat, just without the need of being folded back together to feel stressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker 4. Here we have Speaker 3. What makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? What makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? Speaker 3.
Unhappiness is this horrible feeling. You feel like you're going to drown, or you feel like you're in a pit of just unhappiness, and you start to remember all the bad things that are happening in your life. You start to self pity. And this is a terrible feeling because everyone wants happiness. Happiness is what makes life great. You get to live your life, you get to do the things you love. So, the topic I was given today is what makes me feel better when I am down, feeling down, or unhappy, or in a bad mood. Now, I have many things, I have many coping methods that I have when I'm in a bad mood or I'm in this pit of just unhappiness and self pity. So, one of the best things I like to do is meditation. Now, we're all told that we always need to sit down. Whenever we're unhappy, we need to take a few deep breaths and just self reflect. Why am I unhappy? Why am I in this bad mood? And what can I do to make myself feel better? A famous person once said that unhappiness is normal and unhappiness happens to everyone. But how you deal with that unhappiness is what makes your perspective of life better. It makes your quality of life better. So I like to sit down, meditate, take a few deep breaths, and self reflect, resurface happy memories. And I know that I'm very privileged. I have an amazing family, I have great friends, and my mom makes great food. I think about all these things and I become happier. And I remember that I am feeling unhappy because of a certain reason, but I know that life is long. Life has many ups and downs, and that happens to everyone. It's not only me. So when I self reflect, when I have these moments of just thinking about the great things in my life, my amazing supporting friends, the food my mom makes, or just in general, my quality of life, I know I can overcome this bad thing in my life. And I know that other people too can just sit down and self reflect, take a few deep breaths, and just calm down. Because this happens to everyone. It is a very normal feeling. But how you approach this moment of feeling down is what makes your quality of life better. Another thing I would also like to do is eating my favorite comfort food. In my case, it is my mom's shahi paneer and garlic naan. And honestly, this just makes my day 100 times better. And along with self reflecting while eating my shahi paneer and garlic naan, I can just think about the great things in my life and say, this is a down in my life. But it immediately went up again because I started remembering that I have good moments in my life and that I am thankful for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker 3. Next, we have Speaker 2. What makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? What makes you feel better if you are unhappy or in a bad mood? Speaker 2.
I think most of us in this room today can definitely relate to being a quote unquote people's pleaser, being someone where we have to act a certain way in order to make sure that others don't really feel sad or feel unhappy or feel distressed over their own self. And although it's really unhealthy to have this kind of mindset, that is the kind of mindset that I hold, which is why whenever I feel sad, unhappy, or stressed, or in a really bad mood, I hold it all in. I try to make sure that no one else, not my family, not my friends, not people in school, can really show or really see what I'm actually feeling, because I am afraid to show it to others, because I don't want them to feel the same way as I am. This is a really toxic mindset, a really bad mindset that most of us are conditioned not to feel or not to really pursue, especially when we're at school. The notions of self-care, notions of mental health, advocacy has been very prevalent in our education system, where there's now a careers class. Counselors are now open to all these things, telling their students to not feel this way or try to find other healthier alternatives to really de-stress and to figure out a healthier method to be unhappy when you're feeling unhappy or when you're in a bad mood. And For the longest time in my entire life, I've always been like this. I always just hold it all in. I never really tried to find a method to fix myself when I'm in a bad mood, because again, I just had the mindset that if other people feel happy around me, I'm happy. It doesn't really matter how I feel, as long as everyone around me is feeling the way that I want them to feel, then it doesn't matter what happens to me. And during the pandemic, this is when it all struck, where I was not able to really talk to anybody that I usually talk to. I wasn't able to talk to my friends, my school classmates, my teachers, like even my parents. I wasn't really able to talk to them properly. And that's when I realized that I had to figure out a way to make myself happy, to make myself proud of myself, and to figure out a way where when I'm unhappy or in a bad mood, I have to implement a way to make me, myself, be happy. And through this pandemic, I realized that the way for that to work is for me to realize my own happiness and my own self-worth. And through listening to podcasts telling me, oh, this is how you should feel, mental health, and also just looking into other books and starting hobbies and things like that, made me realize that this is the right way for me to be happy. There's nothing wrong with not being the status quo of happiness all the time. What truly matters is that you should allow yourself to be happy no matter what you're feeling or what other people are doing. Back to Madame Chair.
Thank you, Speaker 2. Now our final speaker, Speaker 1. What makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? What makes you feel better when you are unhappy or in a bad mood? Speaker 1.
Everybody has those days where something's not quite right, or I'm feeling a little off today. Like, well, hey, this morning I had to wake up very early for this lovely, lovely competition, and thank you very much for hosting it. But we've all got those days where I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to continue with what I'm doing because I'm feeling so down. I'm feeling so unhappy and very moody. And well, some people might just want to flop down on the bed and relax and scroll on their phone on their Instagram feed or something of the like, which not really an option for me because I don't have social media. But I don't really find a way to distract myself from the moodiness or the unhappiness. Instead, I try and think about, in the grand scheme of things, how it doesn't really matter. Now, I don't want to get too existential on you, but if you've read the 1942 book L'Étranger by Albert Camus, it's a story about a man who's living in a stranger city. Right? He's not from there, and he feels isolated. And it's a very philosophical tale of existentialism, absurdism, where really things don't really matter. There's no intrinsic value in something. Nothing's really bad, nothing's really good. It's just a state of existence. And if, for those of you who have read it, I don't condone anything he does in the book, but I think we can pull some lessons from that. I think in the situation, if I'm unhappy about something, think about it and say, will this affect me in a great way in, I don't know, 30 minutes? Will I care enough? Will the consequences of me being angry and moody and overall a terrible person to be around matter in the short term? Think about that once, think about that twice, and maybe even think about that thrice. If it's still lingering in my head, if it is still a problem, then I need to face it head on. This is a problem that's bigger than me just being a little moody. And this applies to a lot of things. If you can just step back, look at it from an outside scene and think about, does it really matter? Am I supposed to get angry over I dropped my favorite cup, or the show's over, I can't watch anything anymore, or a small argument? Well, I'd argue that most of the time, no. I get over things pretty quickly. And I think if the world got along and got over such small details, well, maybe wouldn't it be so unhappy and moody all the time.
Thank you, Speaker 1. And that concludes our impromptu section of competition. We thank all our speakers here. We're going to send our judges back into the judges' room so they can deliberate, and the tally people can tabulate all the numbers. But while they're doing that, we are going to get to know our cadets. So cadets, I'm going to have you rename yourself back to your rank and name. Now, congratulations, cadets. You're all done. Bravo. Now we're gonna a deep breath. It's all gone, all good. All right. Now we're just gonna get to know you. All right. So speaker one, tell us about. Give us your rank, name, and squadron you're with.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I am Sergeant Tonicum. I am from 767 Dearman Squadron.
And Sergeant, what have you learned in these past 2 years of restrictions? Any new hobbies or read any new books?
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow, 2 years already, yeah? 2 years of restrictions. I've definitely changed the way that I think a lot. I'm more methodical. And actually this kind of ties on with the with my impromptu speech earlier, where just take a step back and like just think it's fine, relax. Yeah, I'm thinking slower. As the world slows down, so do I, because I am part of it. And I did want to put that reference of the L'étranger in there. I really liked it. But yeah, hobbies. Oh dear. I am trying to read more. I used to be I wasn't a huge reader, but now definitely between like before COVID, I did not read at all. But along with some stuff from school, I'm trying to pick up some things on my own.
Good stuff. Future goals. What do you have
Future goals.
aspirations for? Yeah.
Ooh, I would love to get into voice acting or theater. That would be really cool because
Ooh.
yeah.
That's quite interesting. You pronounce very well. You're quite articulate, and you project, and you've got that really deep voice.
Thank you.
That is on Zoom wise. That's all I hear.
I can assure you it is the same in person.
And I look forward to in person. My goodness, it's been so long virtual here. Now let's see. Are you an inside person or an outside person? Do you like outside sports or more inside?
I'm definitely more of an inside person. But I do like my fair share, like hiking, camping, sometimes when it permits. Where I live, it's not there's no like real incentive for me to go outside much because it's a little it's a little drab. But I do like to get some fresh air once in a while because I can't stay in here forever.
I'm glad to hear that you like to get some fresh air. That's good. It helps the brain think a little clearer. That's
definitely.
Okay, now that we're going back to in person, what is the favorites? I guess as you're a sergeant, so you're teaching. What's the favorite training or curriculum that you'd like to get back into? For cadets, my apologies.
I did lead the effective speaking or 767 effective speaking team this year, as did last year. And it doesn't have the same charm as being in person. It's, on Zoom, yeah, we get to see your faces on the occasion. And it still works. It still fundamentally works. The framework is there. It's just in person, you've heard this ad nauseum. It's so much better. We had we used to play like the sort of icebreaker game kind of, where we had a whiteboard. It was called Storyline. And one of the time the cadets would, we're not sorry, I'm remembering. We had one of the cadets take turns saying one word, and we had to create a story based on those words on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And we would read it out, and it was so much fun. I miss that.
It is a lot of fun. I've played those too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on to speaker two. Speaker two, introduce yourself, rank, name, squadron you're with.
Hello, I am Warrant Officer Second Class M from 767 Dearman, just like Sergeant Tonico.
Welcome. And let's hear, what's your favorite subject at school?
Oh no, this is going to be hard. Oh no. Well, because of the pandemic, it's really hard to do a lot of in-person since most of my classes were online. But aside from that, I would say my favorite class is PE or physical education, just because I'm able to really de-stress from all my other courses and also be
Mhm.
able to engage with my friends and also the teachers. And just it's like a great place to, bond with your students and
Oh, for
everyone.
sure, for
Mhm.
sure. And physical activity is very good for the mental health and physical health as well. Um,
Definitely.
so are you an inside or an outside person?
Although I said physical education is my favorite uh, subject, I am very much an inside person. I rarely go outside at all.
Really?
At all, yeah. I guess I just kind of have like the fear of going outside. So I try to limit the amount that I do, unless if it's like absolutely necessary for me, then I just normally stay inside.
Well, I hope it's not down to just the basics of getting groceries.
Oh no,
Hope
no,
you
I could do that. I could do that.
hope you go out for a walk and like
Mhm,
just get some fresh air, like you say, and
mhm,
bond with your friends. That's always a good thing. When you were mentioning about mental health, it is a subject that is very rarely or it hasn't been spoken of, and it should be out in the public, and we should all be aware of mental health
definitely.
issues there, because everyone holds their own stress, holds their own
Mhm,
has their own plate of
mhm.
things that they have to deal with, and no one can tell just visually seeing someone in person. So we have to be quite considerate of each person's backgrounds and
Mhm.
what they're going through. Now, favorite foods.
Oh man, these are actually really hard questions.
What?
Oh no,
I
favorite
made them
food.
fairly easy.
No, there's a variety of answers. Um,
True, true, because there's a lot of foods out there, a lot of like pop-up restaurants, and there's so much to choose from.
mhm.
Like even Korean food, my goodness.
Yes,
Chico
Korean food.
chicken, juke, like there's so many of
Yeah.
these popping up. I can't even choose. It's almost like I have to touch on every single one and try, but they're not cheap. So, Em, what is your favorite food?
I can definitely relate to that first of all. But I would say currently my favorite food is this Korean traditional food called kimbap. It's like sushi but Korean. That's how I would describe it.
I like
um,
that too. That is
mhm.
quite delicious and easy to eat.
Very easy to eat,
Yeah,
yes.
you could take it anywhere with you. And I wish we would do some of those camps that the officers would consider that as a meal
Oh,
option.
really?
You got your carbs, that's the rice, and you've got the filling, that's the proteins, right? There's eggs
Mhm.
in there, and there's
Yeah.
like pickled radish. There you
Mhm.
go. You're good.
And also there's like a vegetarian option too. We don't have to
Yes.
always eat MREs. The kimbap's also an option.
Yes, I think MREs store a lot longer than Gimbap does.
Exactly.
True, true.
Uh,
All right. So I'm going to go on to speaker three. Speaker three, introduce yourself, your rank, name, and squadron you're with.
Hello, I'm Flight Corporal for Hollad, Anisha, and I'm from 767 German Squadron.
Welcome. Glad that you're here with us. And how many years have you been with the Air Cadets?
Ooh, okay, so I joined January of 2020. So like this was like a few months before like COVID, right? So you could say like 1.5 years to I don't know.
On the books, 1.5 years.
Yeah.
But in reality, it was quite a couple months. And then you went virtual.
Yeah, and this was around like winter time, right? So like I only went like 3 times in person.
Oh, goodness. So no camps, not yet, right? Okay, crossing our fingers, we're going to go back into person and that RCSU, the D&D side, opens up a lot of those summer camps for you. I know that they've had their challenges and that they have a lot planned because now that they've tried it once, like last year, to do things hybrid, some in person, some online. They've got an arsenal of options to choose from. So you're going to have an eclectic experience of this summer training, that is. So
Nice.
I look forward to what they can bring to the table for our young people here. But I'm so happy that you're with us. Now, just to put it out there, not that I'm promoting my program, but effective speaking is the only competition that's happening last year and this year. So Thank you for participating. You're getting a bronze pin just for being here. And hopefully coming years, we're gonna be in person and I get to see your beautiful faces and get to know you in person there. So Flight Corporal Prahat, what's your favorite subject in school?
Ooh. I'm gonna copy Warrant Officer M and say physical education.
Wow, that's an easy one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because of that, it's because my class this year, like they were a great group of people. Like I could connect with them. I really like made new friends. And it's just a really nice environment to be around. So
Bravo. And so are you an inside or an outside person?
it depends on the weather. Like
Oh.
honestly.
So am I gonna say, is it fair to say if it's raining and we live in Vancouver, so it rains quite a bit, are you inside gaming or
Okay.
reading a book?
I actually read more. Like I don't game too much. But like in Vancouver specifically, I'm definitely like an inside person.
Okay, so no Fortnite, no, oh geez, I'm really dating myself by these, trying to be in the trend of the games. I might have Mr. Hussein tell a couple to help me out there, but I'll introduce him later on. Favorite foods?
I think I already mentioned this in my impromptu.
Garlic naan, my
Yeah.
favorite, garlic naan. And what was the paneer?
Yeah, it was like shahi paneer. You could say it's kind of like the staple, like Indian food, like butter chicken, but like instead of chicken, it's like
paneer.
you could
Yeah.
say.
And if I'm not sure if everyone knows what paneer is, explain it. It's a type of cheese.
Yeah, it's a type of like cheese. I'm not really sure. It's like made of milk, obviously. It's like an Indian cheese.
Yes, it is. And it's very good. It's like a cheese curd. I'll attest to that because I just made butter paneer. So just yesterday. So it goes well with basmati rice. And oh my goodness, that garlic naan, homemade, has to be homemade. You
Yeah.
get any of that store-bought stuff and you're not having the real stuff there. So I concur. Thank you there, Flight Corporal. Moving along to our speaker four. Speaker four, I'll trouble to introduce yourself, rank, name, and squadron you're with.
Hello, everybody. I am Flight Corporal Chen, and I am from 808 Squadron.
Welcome. Now, tell us a bit about yourself. What's your favorite subject?
Subject? I would also have to say physical education. Yeah. It's just the most unstressful because there's no homework. And I also really enjoyed the people in my class. Yeah.
It is quite de-stressing for sure. Now, I guess, I don't know, I was remembering back in my PE days, we had to do 1.5 miles. Do you guys still do that?
Yeah,
Running the 1.5 miles? Or is it further now?
It depends. Like there's different runs, but I enjoy running. So.
Oh, okay. I'm talking to a runner here. So, okay. So you enjoy PE. That's fantastic. Other subjects that you enjoy? Academic wise.
Math, I guess. Math is pretty fun.
Math, yes, it does come in handy, especially in daily life. You know, you got to calculate your sales, the percentages off on certain clothings and get the real price and good stuff there, especially when we're virtual. A lot of purchases are online and you really can't have a feel for the item, but you can certainly calculate the discount that you're getting. So that's a good thing there. Favorite foods?
I'm pretty basic. I would just say pizza and sushi.
Yum. That's a good comfort food, nice and easy. That's no problem. Now that we're going back to in-person training in cadets, what's your favorite subject there? Or event, activity, camp even?
Oh, well, last year I actually participated in CAP, Cadet Activity Program. That was pretty fun. So if they're offering it again this summer, I would probably consider joining it again.
Now wasn't that virtual? Would you not want to go in-person camp?
Oh, that was in person actually.
Oh, it was the day camps. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What activity did you learn at the day camps there?
I did marksmanship.
Wow, bravo. I hope they bring that back. It's so much fun. Not that
Yeah.
I've shot, but I had a son that did participate in that, and he was an instructor for marksmanship. So I was very proud of that. Thank you very much, Flight Corporal. And again, thank you, cadets, for being part of this competition. I am going to introduce to you and the audience the judges for today. So let's start with Judge 1. If I could trouble you to introduce yourself and give the cadets a few words. Thank you.
Sure. Good morning, cadets. Good morning, everyone who is setting up this meeting today. It was a great meeting. Nice to meet you all. My name is Ahmed Hussein, and I'm part of the Toastmasters Downtown Coquitlam Club for the past year, working on my public speaking. I'm actually very impressed by a lot of your speaking today, much better than a lot of what I do back in my club. I believe Jermaine mentioned me in terms of gaming, but my gaming is very old school as well. I played RuneScape, and I'm not very good at Fortnite either. So that's my background. And currently I'm working in regenerative medicine. So working with stem cells in the lab, doing stuff like CRISPR, working on organoids, like little organs, and some genomics and stuff like that. So in the biology field, medical field. And yeah, that's about it. That's who I am. Nice to meet you all.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Hussein, for your time today and being a judge. Today it's a tough job, so I thank you for what you were doing. Next, I'm going to have Judge 2. Judge 2, if I could trouble you to introduce yourself and say a few words.
Sure. Nice to meet you all. Thank you so much for your wonderful speeches. I found them very interesting. I was very impressed by all of your emotional maturity as well as your wonderful presentation. I'm sure that you're all 5 years more mature than I was at your age. But yeah, so about me, my name is Jade. I am a current medical student at UBC. My background in public speaking and debate is that I was the representative for UBC at the World University Debating Championships a few years back. And I also coach debate at the Vancouver Debate Academy, although I'm currently a bit busy with school, so not running any classes. I'm not sure why we talked about gaming. Maybe I missed something earlier on. I do game from time to time. I play Genshin Impact. I don't know if you guys do. And yeah, that's about me.
Well, thank you very much, Ms. Zhang. And yeah, the gaming just part of the interview process, so nothing too much. It's fantastic. So contestants, you have a contact now if you like to have some more feedback regarding your speeches, your public speaking. We have Mr. Hussein and Ms. Zhang that is quite proficient and very experienced in this program, and also they have valuable information that you can resource from. So thank you again, Ms. Zhang, for that. Next, we have Judge 3. Judge 3, can I trouble you to introduce yourself and have a few words for our cadets?
So my name is Teresa. I'm very glad to be judging this wonderful event. And my daughter actually was a air cadet at Pomodi Air Cadets. And I myself I have been a ESL teacher for adults at Vancouver Community College, and also I manage a debate club called Tri-City Youth Debate Club. So I'm really impressed by all the performance by all the cadets, and it was wonderful. Great maturity, great expression, and very effective communication with the topic. Yeah, great. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ms. Yu. Now, cadets, all three of our judges, seriously, hands down, the best people that Maggie, our chair at 808, can enlist to be your judges and to rank you, the toughest jobs ever. So again, thanks to our judges there. But again, resources, cadets, resources. These are people that have that experience and know what they're talking about. So, and they're commending you on the speeches that you have presented to us today, how well you performed, articulate, projected, maturity. My goodness, I can't even, there's so much more to it. But again, they would have evaluation forms for each of you. Today, for being here, I will have a bronze pin. Well, actually, I'll have a package snail mailed out to you, because there's just no other faster way, with the bronze pin, the certificate of merit, and the evaluation forms from each of these judges, and they'll be able to tell you how to improve, what to look on, and what you did fabulously today. So those are things that you can look forward to. And again, you're all winners to me. I can't say the winner. The top ranked, I'll say, is going to go to our provincials and compete at the provincial level and go for the silver pin. And that is going to be held on April the 23rd at Broadmoor Baptist Church in Richmond, BC. So we're going in person. No more Zoom. I'm kind of zoomed out. But as a coordinator, I have to do what I do. So in person in Richmond for the provincials. Unfortunately for the nationals, I have received word that it is still going to be a Zoom competition, just because that it requires a lot more time to be able to organize with that competition. Just, you get it. So many provinces, so many people. We have to have the logistics done for that. But I have received messages saying that we have the results. But before I announce, I have to get a presentation slide ready. So I would like to have Ms. Chak, are you online? Can I trouble you to ask for any of our guests to give encouraging words to our cadets?
Sure.
Thank you. I'll be right back, folks. I'm just going to get that presentation slide ready.
Okay. May I have any of the officer would like to come up and say something to our cadets?
I'll say something. I see some of these cadets at my squadron, and I've never seen them speak publicly like this before. So it's really awesome to see them just come out of their comfort zone. And I'm sure even if they're doing an amazing job, they must be quite nervous doing this, even if it's in front of a screen. So it was really nice to see everyone just shine through the screen, even in this very early morning. So a great job for everyone. And even if you aren't the top person, I would say that everyone that came out today would be a winner.
Perfect. Officer Cadet Kim, may I know which squadron that you're with?
With the 808 Quotum Squadron, so Flight Corporal Chen here. And unfortunately, Sergeant Kim wasn't here today, but she would have also been from my squadron.
Okay, not a problem. We can see her next year. Yeah, Kelly, would you like to say something to our cadet?
Hi. Yes, that'd be lovely. I want to say it all four of you. You were all really amazing. I enjoyed everything that you did, and I understand the hard work you've put into your speeches and the thoughts that you put into your improvised speeches. I want to say, keep doing what you're doing today and every day, because what you're doing today is making an impact to our future tomorrow. And you are so brave to step out of to speak in front of people. It took me half a century to be able to talk in front of people. So to be starting at such a young age and to be in these teams together, supporting each other and making these bonds and friendships, even though we've been online for 2 years, I'm proud to see that you guys continued the effective speaking, because, effective listening is just as important as effective speaking. And you're learning both those, and those are going to take you a very long way into the future. And we need to always be able to effectively speak to each other, because communication is the key to the success of our happiness. And you guys have it in the bag. Just keep going. and learning and teaching each other. Lead by example. Get more people into effective speaking.
Definitely, if we can back to in person.
Yes,
'Cause,
that'll be lovely.
even though some coaches, they were hesitate to share their experience in front of Zoom. Maybe they would like to do it in person instead of virtual. Do I have more guests on the floor would like to give out any comments to our cadets?
Sure, I'm not going to turn down an opportunity for stage time. I am so proud of all of the cadets who are speaking today. Full confession, I've been the instructor for the effective speaking with 808 Squadron this year. And I echo the comments of judge number one. I've been in Toastmasters for 15 years. I have known an awful lot of people who don't speak anywhere near as well as these cadets do. I'm filled with immense pride and respect for all of them. Our future is in good hands if it's in the hands of these four people.
Definitely, Darren. You are one of the Toastmasters that in Lower Mainland, which is quite famous in our class.
I've just been around a long time. That's awesome.
Lots of learning from you. Thank you so much. And actually, our program supported by Toastmasters a lot. In BC, we have 57 squadrons, and I believe there is over 300 clubs across BC. So any squadron, if you need help, then or need a coach, just get in touch with Toastmasters, which will be benefit to any one of you. Any questions from the cadets? No? So
fantastic.
Then I will pass the podium back to Ms. Chu.
All righty. Thank you very much, Ms. Chak. And Ms. Chak is our impromptu supervisor. I've been working with Ms. Chak. She is also a league rep with BCPC. And I've been working with her for 2 years. She's been so helpful. And contact-wise, Ms. Chak is also quite resourced with Toastmaster connections. So if anything, just give me a shout. I will connect you through to Ms. Chak there. Now, I am so happy today. I have the slides are already, and in my eyes, I have to say, all of you are winners and you guys have performed spectacularly. All right. So with that, it's just rankings and numbers. Take the judges' feedbacks, improve. This is a life skill. You're going to use it every single day of your life in communicating with people effectively. So with that, I am going to share screen. And this year, 2022 virtual Metro Vancouver Regional Effective Speaking Competition, we have awards presentations. Our bronze medalists. And like I said, you're all winners in my eyes. We have the drum roll going, and the bronze medalist is going to both of you. From 808 Coquitlam RCACS, Flight Corporal Clarissa Chen, and to 767 Dearman RCACS, Flight Corporal Prahalad. So congratulations. Now this just makes it so much more suspenseful because who's next, right? All right, so we're going to announce the silver medalist, and drum roll, please. It goes to 767 Dearman RCACS, Warrant Officer Second Class M. Congratulations. And I think you can guess the gold medalist there. I'm not going to hold you in suspense. Gold medalist, 767 Dearman, RCACS, Sergeant Dylan Tonacum. Congratulations to all our cadets today, and the medals and the bronze pins too, I guess. And the package will be coming out to you through snail mail as soon as I can get all the evaluation forms from our judges. And I can get the package going to you as soon as possible. Next, Sergeant Dylan's name will be engraved on our Effective Speaking Metro Vancouver plaque. And we have, actually his name is on there twice, because from what I remember last year, Provincial Effective Speaking Competition is going to be held on April 23, 2022. So this year, in 2 months' time. And I will be sending out those details to Sergeant Tonicum and to the SSCs in a mass email. If not, you could certainly reach me at effectivespeaking.bcpc@gmail.com. Again, congratulations. Bravo Zulu to you all. Judges, I believe I have your mailing addresses, because I'm going to send you or snail mail you a small gift of gratitude for spending the time with us today. So thank you very much for your assistance in making this competition such a success. Our appreciation goes out to all the coaches, officers, judges, parents, and the regional host squadron 808 Coquitlam RCACS for locating the volunteers and making this year's competition successful. We also like to send out our gratitudes to BCPC for their support in this effective speaking program. And this concludes our 2022 virtual Metro Vancouver Regional Effective Speaking Competition. I thank you and have a great rest of your day. This is the time if you can take screenshots. So if everyone can come online, let's take a picture of all your beautiful faces. Big smiles, and 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. Thank you very much, everyone. I am so proud of you all, and I hope you guys continue this effective speaking program and have a great day.